Good morning and welcome to our regular meeting on August 28th. We have a full quorum with Billy Doggett online via Zoom. Bill, can you hear us?
I can. Yes.
There we go. Thank you. Carrie, you certified the meeting was properly posted. If you'll please stand for prayer and pledges. Mr. Acker.
Be thankful for. Father, let me start off by thanking you for the rain last night. Father, we ask, Lord, that you continue to send the rain as we need it. But Father, we ask, Lord, that you continue to lead and guide each one of them. Father, we pray for this court. We pray for the wisdom they'll need to make the decisions for the residents of Walker County. Father, we ask, Lord, that you lead us and guide us through this day. Father, the Bible verse I want to quote this morning is found in Ephesians chapter 3, verse 16. That he would grant you according to the riches of his glory to be strengthened with spirit, might by his spirit in the inner man. Father, we thank you for your Holy Spirit, and we thank you for the power that you give each one of us. Father, we pray, Lord, that the Holy Spirit's presence be made known. God, we ask again that you watch over this court, guide this court. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I pledge allegiance to thee, one state, under God, one indivisible.
We have any citizens input? Alan?
No, not that I'm aware of.
We'll start with public hearing on Walker County budget for the fiscal year October 1st, 2023 to September 30th, 2024. Time is 9:02. Anybody here to speak on that? Wait on the clock. All right, 9:03. We'll close that public hearing. Public hearing on Walker County tax rate for the fiscal year October 1st, 2023 to September 30th, 2024. Time is 9:03. Anybody here to speak on that?
Sure, Gene got something to say back there.
Oh.
Nobody on Zoom wants to talk.
Last chance. Yes, ma'am.
Do we need to leave it open until after 9:05 since it was advertised for 9:05?
We
Maybe I
can.
would.
There we go.
And that'd be both public hearings still open, I guess, right? Or just one?
The first one was advertised for 9, the second one for 9.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Thank you. I'm proud you cleared us up.
Yep.
Man. Makes sense.
So we're gonna go to 9:06.
Time you think?
Just needs to go past 9:05.
Yeah. 9:06.
That means 9:06 passed and Quentin's still straightening us out. Got you already, Wade.
We got Wade, we ain't got no Larry this morning. Larry sick,
Larry's probably on vacation.
yeah, is it with Bill?
He takes a week every 3 months.
Busy with Bill.
Be together, I'm not sure.
Bill, is Larry with you?
He'll come.
Not right now, no, sir.
There was some
Hey.
hesitation there.
Yeah, we were supposed to be going to Bermuda, but the hurricane shifted us, so now we're going to the Bahamas. So still a vacation. It's not the spot we wanted to go to.
Bring some rain back,
Damn the luck.
yeah.
I guess I had to get out of town for that to happen, huh?
Yeah, appreciate it. All right,
Anytime.
time is 9:06. We're gonna close the public hearing. Consent agenda contains 28 items. Do we have any to pull?
9, 20, and 21.
Anybody else? Entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we accept the consent agenda, pulling 9, 20, and 21.
Second,
Moving second, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Number 9, approve facility request 2023-114, allowing Huntsville High School Baseball Booster Club to use the district attorney's parking lot as a club fundraiser during Fair on the Square, October 7th, 2023.
when being consistent with what I done, who was the other one we did?
The wrestling team.
The wrestling team, I don't feel like it would be right for me to allow one and not the other one, so I'm gonna make a motion to not approve number 9.
Reading this, is this,
Yeah.
are they, I'm assuming they're doing like the other ones, charging for parking?
This is what it looks
Correct.
like, yes.
I think they partner on the.
I thought we approved the,
That was
Y'all
a wres-
did.
that was a
I
wrestling team.
so
That was a wrestling team.
is your motion to approve this one too?
No,
No, my motion is to not approve it, but y'all, I think the rest of the court
Yeah.
brought another motion back and actually approved it.
what you got, Quentin?
Correct.
So, the district attorney formerly had a high school community baseball team member, and, you know, they've done this for many, many years, as you're well aware. They do charge a fee to park there, but it is tantamount to a donation. It's just a preset donation.
Suggested.
In fact, many times people actually give them more than the posted fee as a form of donation. And the district attorney asked me, not as the district attorney, but as a former parent of a parent of a former high school baseball player, to just share that information.
Well, I would much rather see it done as a donation than charging, but at this point, I'm gonna give Ronnie a second.
And moving second, can we get Bill on the screen so we can see votes?
So last time we approved the wrestling because we didn't have a policy in place and we were going to explore some sort of process in the future. So I'm going to stick with that process that we did last time until we actually,
We were gonna get some kind of clarification on
but we haven't as of yet.
chamber, exactly, as a chamber of commerce using the
Yeah.
annex parking lot and all that. And I know probably nobody had time to do it, so.
Yeah. All in favor of the motion to deny the request, raise your hand.
Mhm.
All opposed, raise your hand.
Where you at, Bill?
Where'd Bill go?
He's
I'm there,
on
I'm voting yes.
There you go, okay. We have a new motion.
Not for me, you don't.
I'll move to approve the facility request.
I'll second that.
Second, all in favor, raise your right hand. I don't know where Bill is.
I'm back. I'm still there.
There you go. Okay, all opposed.
All right.
Motion carries.
Same thing happened last time.
Yeah. Number 20, approve order number 2023-96 granting exemption to the Railroad Yard, Inc. for steel culvert TC 1003485.
We just do not need to do this. I talked to Ms. Cheryl before court because this was an exemption that was for a specific road and we've already done the project. So it doesn't need to be renewed. So do we need a motion to deny it or just pull it?
I think you probably should do a motion to deny.
I make a motion to deny number 20.
Second it.
All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion
All right.
carries. 21, approve order number 2023-97, granting an exemption to SRM Concrete LLC.
And this was part of that same job, so I'm gonna make a motion to deny it.
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand.
Yep.
Motion carried. 22. Oh, no, we're gonna skip to number 33, Constable Precinct 4, discuss and take action on application for NRA Foundation State Fund Grant.
Good morning, gentlemen. Basically, what I was here is permission to proceed forward and fill out an application for the grant from the NRA.
Yeah, you've been through that before, and
Yes, sir. This will be the third one. No match funds for the county, just permission to go for this grant. That's all.
Motion to approve 33.
Second. All in favor, raise your right hand.
Yep.
Seconded that.
I did. Motion carries.
you raise your hand.
I did, yes.
All right. Thank you, Martin.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, go back to number 29, Special Prosecution Unit. Discuss and take action on SADA System, Inc. Google Workspace ordering document contract renewal. Mr. Choate,
Good morning, Judge.
good morning.
We actually requesting approval of a license for the use of our Google Meets software, hardware. After Hurricane Harvey, SPU doesn't participate in Walker County's ITs. We've actually used Google business entities to essentially do our email, Google Drive, a lot of those different functions. One of those functions is Google Meets, which allows us to communicate throughout the office through email. So our hardware had to get new hardware, but we also need a license for that, which is, I understand, $250, which is $250 less than last year. So we're actually coming out ahead. So we're just asking for approval, budgeted funds for the approval of that license.
Yeah, and you never need any money from us, right?
That's right.
Makes you easy to deal with.
For an easy conversation.
Motion to
This is
approve.
for budgeted funds.
Second,
Moving second, all in favor, raise your right hand.
thank you, Jim.
Motion
Aye.
carries.
I always get nervous when Laura sends me with the IT stuff, because that's. Thank you very much. Good to
All
All
right,
right, thank
number 30, discuss and take action on pending service agreement for the Walker County Storm Shelter. Mr. Davis,
Morning, Butch.
Commissioner Doggett requested that we put a vending machine over at the storm shelter. Wanted us to research it. We talked with the vending company. They could put a cold drink machine there, and they will maintain it, restock it, all that. They will get 90% of the money. The county will get 10% to go into general fund.
Is it gonna be like outside in the breezeway?
Yes,
Bill, you got anything to say?
I don't. I just know when I'm out there, I want a Coke a lot and they don't have it. So if there's a chance we could get me a Coke and get other people a chance to make money, give it to the county, I'll take that as a double win.
That's your motion?
That is my motion to approve that agenda item. What number is that? I'm sorry.
30.
Agenda item number 30. Approved.
Second,
Moving second, all in favor, raise your right hand.
Yes.
Motion carries. 31, discuss and take action on purchase of carport and future purchases made from OEM project funds.
we have some project money, and of course, the judge may give us a how much was going to surplus, and we have made a rehab vehicle out of it. We have we've deployed it twice this weekend. And I'm trying to take care of. I've talked with Commissioner Kirkendall, Commissioner White, and Commissioner Doggett about this and show.
not at the same time, though.
Not at the same time.
Want to point that out because my newsman sitting right there.
I searched y'all out. And I've got a price on the carport. $2,816.75, and I want to put that there so we can take care of that vehicle that y'all gave us.
I guess, which this is gonna be one of them carports like what,
Like Bill,
Bill's got out there.
Yes, sir. Did you see it?
Yeah, I've seen
Is that
the
in
pictures.
backup?
Yeah, it's,
It's like that.
I guess why are we dealing with this in court? Because the policy says we have to do,
Well, it's coming out of special project money that we have, which is reimbursement from FEMA over administration work that we did in our office. And I was told that y'all requested anytime I spent any of that money, I had to come ask y'all.
well, I don't quite remember that, but that might be the case, with the rest.
Part of the agenda item is dealing with future requests. If y'all, give us permission just to spend the money without coming to court, then.
I mean, if it follows policy, I mean, I don't see why we need to be in court with it.
and this is the money that you got from the administration of these grants, if I remember it.
Yes, sir. FEMA.
I don't have a problem with it.
I do agree to address the agenda item. There is actually two agenda items put together. The first one is specific to this carport, and I have the way that worded. The future purchases from the OEM project fund is a little vague, but it almost feels like it should be two separate votes. But just to kind of put the court on notice about that, it's
So we can vote.
very open-ended statement. Although it does give us some specifics in that it's only about purchases using the OEM project fund. And as long as the auditor can confirm that that is a specific fund, then you can probably take that action today.
In two motions, Clint?
Once
How y'all do?
Yeah, I mean, because that's,
it's drafted as.
Needs to be a
agenda item.
yeah.
If the court chooses to split it apart and take separate votes, that would be, I think, acceptable in this case, or you could do it as a single.
If I could chime in, I mean, we've either got a policy or we don't. So could we ask whoever, Quentin or Patricia or whoever, to look and see if we have a policy that addresses that? And if we don't, then I don't think we need to take court action on it if it's not specified out. And if it does, I'm sure Butch can come back in 2 weeks if we have to rewrite it. I hate to make a court action on something that we either have a policy in place for already. You know what I mean? Or
Well,
don't.
that's where I was going with it, so.
Ms. Allen?
There's no written policy in place. The very first time that money was put into this line item in the projects fund, I think it was around $90,000. And the court was FEMA money. So the court asked, would they have notice of what was being purchased from those funds? And so ever since it has come before court. So if this court, which is a different court, no longer wishes to see those items, then I think that probably an action is necessary to change something that was set up by a future court. The only thing that would come back with you would go under the regular policy, non-budgeted capital item, whatever purchases under 5,000 that are not budgeted would fall under our normal policies, if that's the direction this court wants to go.
And that's kind of where I'd go with it. I mean, just let it follow our purchasing policy that we have in place. And,
Well, y'all, if I'm gonna buy anything over 5,000, y'all gonna know about it anyway.
Yeah.
so
we can move forward with this and then come back in 2 weeks and clarify it with it.
Or do it today.
Or everybody's comfortable with it today.
yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
So,
So you want me to put future purchases back on court next time?
I think I'd bring it back and let us clarify that,
Okay,
how that needs to be handled. To me, I mean, I think we just need to go follow the purchasing policy. Let's just separate it from the carport.
okay.
Y'all good with that?
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of a carport.
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Yeah, bring that back to us, Butch.
Okay, we'll go put it back on court next
Okay.
time.
32, presentation concerning first annual emergency preparedness fair.
Oh,
So you'll have a good turnout on Bruce.
yes, sir.
Good.
That was the visitors that we had at that, fair. It was a great turnout by the exhibitors. We were really, overwhelmed that we could get that many, to go. We had the people on the left donated, items that we raffled off.
For prizes.
Give to people there. Cowboy Contractors and HEB furnished the hot dogs, chips, and drinks, which was a blessing. Safe House, sponsored, KSAM being there. KSAM did a live remote at our function, and Safe House was a sponsor for that event. I spent about $1,000 on advertisement with vending signs, banners, and printouts, and handed to everybody to know that the thing was there. It was like I say, it was a big success.
Mhm.
We had about 300, what we counted, everybody filled out a deal to be in the drawing. And we had about 318 people come through that event. That's not including the volunteers that were there and the exhibitors. So we had a great turnout for that event. Then you can see some of the photographs from that. And we had a great time. It was a good event. Well enough, I would like to make it an annual event for people to come out and get information. And supposedly our app will be online this week. And they're on that being coming out for education, and some of the vendors that normally go to deals brought handouts, and they run out because it has been.
Good turnout, then.
It was, I think, Butch, you and Sherry and your CERT team and the whole gang, I commend you for putting it together. It's easy to do nothing and not do something like that. But to have that many people show up, I don't know how many vendors you had. It was more than 30, but get that many people organized in a room and have better than 300 people show up in a 4-hour time span. That's pretty amazing. I think kudos to you and your shop for putting that together.
Thank you. Okay.
Good job, Butch.
Appreciate it.
All the crew.
Thank you. And number 34, discuss and take action to approve the second amendment of the joint election agreement to ESD number 1 for the November 7th, 2023 general election.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Here on behalf of Diana this morning to present the second addendum for the joint election agreement that was signed back in June. Walker County Emergency Services District number 1 has ordered a special election on November 7th. And like to contract with Walker County and join the other 6 local political subdivisions have an election this fall with us.
Okay,
Cost.
sounds
So they're
good.
gonna share the
Yes, sir.
percentage of the cost.
Just want to join those other.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
And move second, all in favor, raise your right hand.
Yes.
Got it. Motion carries.
Thank you, Julie.
35, present information regarding 2 House bills going into effect September 1st, 2023, raising the age, qualifications, and compensation for jury service. Elizabeth?
Morning, guys.
Good morning.
I just want to make you aware of what's going on. As of September 1st, 2023, House Bill 2015 raises the age qualified for jurors to be exempt from 7. So we'll be having hopefully a lot more jurors coming up since we excuse me, we have a hard time getting jurors to come in and anyway. The
Well-
second thing is House Bill 3474, and this increases the first day of jury service payment from $6 to $20. With that, the new reimbursement from the state is going to be $14. And then the second day, the rate will be changed from $40 to $58 with the new reimbursement from $34 to $52 from the state. So I just kind of wanted everybody to be aware that this does go into effect this end of this week. So I'm sure Ms. Song's already aware of all that with the budget, but I just wanted to make you all aware of it.
Well, I see they're targeting the age that's dependable to show up,
Yes.
not the younger ones.
Yes, sir. That's the ones that we usually have are our seniors and our retirees, are the ones that show up for jury duty most of the time.
I'm taking up for the old folks in that.
And do you have any questions?
Dogging on the young folks.
Yes, sir.
I can do it.
I think we're good.
Okay. I just want to make
good.
sure
Thank you,
everybody
Leslie.
was aware.
Appreciate it, Leslie.
Thank you, Leslie.
All right, number 36, discuss and take action to authorize the purchase of a Dell MD 1400 and PRC H840 RAID adapter to be used for the new backup server from budgeted IT project funds not to exceed $16,000. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning.
Or in there.
First, I have a quick PowerPoint presentation just to kind of go over the backups. So the original configuration, we had two older servers, a Dell MD 1220 and a 1200. Backups were, the retention was 2 weeks. And most of this hardware was older. Next slide is the planned upgrades that we were going to do. We went ahead and we ordered 2 new servers. There are 7515s and a new storage device, an MD 1400. Our original plan was to continue to use the 1220 for a year or 2 more. Its warranty is up February 2nd, 2024. But it turns out that it's not compatible with the new server at all. It will not work. Since it won't work, we are needing to replace that storage device. My goal is to mirror the primary system, so we have 2 identical systems. I gave you all 2 quotes, one that is half populated to save money potentially, and one that's fully populated that will mirror the primary setup. If we go with fully populated MD 1400, that will give us the most amount of space. We can continue to increase our retention. We're working on going from 2 weeks to 3 months. So far, we got the 3 file servers, the email server, and the Laserfish server at 3 months retention. All the other servers are in progress. If we go with fully populated MD 1400, we will also be able to replicate the backup data from one device to the other device. That means we would have 2 copies of the backup data.
Okay.
And they're both from the same company, right? Same company doing both of them.
They're all Dell hardware and it's using the same software, so they have the identical setups.
Anybody got
You
any
the IT
questions?
guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna move to approve number 36, not to exceed $16,000.
Second.
All in favor, please raise your right hand.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank
Get it
you.
ordered, Dan. Dan, you want to update us on your department?
We have hired a new personnel. His name is Craig Billy. He will, am I supposed to say his name?
Yeah. He's hired, yeah.
He starts next month on the 11th.
Next week. On the 11th.
So, yeah. Is this
September. Well, yeah. Well,
2 weeks.
yeah.
Roughly.
next month's on Friday. So,
Been a long time coming. Thank you,
It
Dan.
has, but we're excited and we're gonna make some good things happen.
yep,
All right.
appreciate it, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
All right, number 37, discuss and take action to approve award of solicitation number C2 360-23-011 road material. Ms. Cowart?
Good morning.
Good morning.
We let the solicitation, and the bids came back in. We have tabulated, you can see on the screen is the first tabulation. We did not have as many vendors offer, it's an offer, as we had in the past. So what you're looking at is the lowest bidder for each line is listed first. And we are recommending that that be the primary and then offer a secondary. Now, I know that you guys are really interested in this award. I went back and asked some of the vendors that had bid last time why they didn't bid this time. And a lot of it was they couldn't get the material, and or some of them just missed seeing the solicitation.
How did you put it out, Cheryl? Did it go in the newspaper or what?
It
Or
was,
send out to them?
of course, done before I got here. So researching, yes, it was done in the newspaper 3 times. If I'm not
Yes,
mistaken, is that
newspaper.
correct?
Yes, and on our website.
And on the website.
All right, do we send like Vulcan? I don't see Knife River at all in here anyway.
Correct. They're the ones that said that they missed it.
Or
They've done, there were them and K&K, I talked to both of them, and they had turnover in their office as well, and that it just slipped through the cracks.
Now, something you said when you first started, now, I think we need to go by each one of these.
Mhm.
Because the law does give us the authority to pick because of location,
Absolutely.
what's best for our precinct.
Sure.
So I would recommend let's go down each one of them,
Okay.
because all precincts do something different.
I got you. I
No,
was
so-
totally aware. Also, and again, if you decide not to go with that vendor due to the location, we will resolicit those as well as the ones that we got no bids on. If you'll look at the bid tab, I think there were 12 line items that we got no bids on. And I know that one of them, the very last one, we did a special solicitation for last year. And nobody said they can get that. That's why they didn't bid on it. So that's up to y'all to make that decision.
One of the most important ones we have is the Sac B grade 4. That's what we paid with. So, the material is out there somewhere. We're just going to find somebody to do it.
Yeah,
Okay, so
well, some of them are only one person, so I mean, it's,
you're correct.
Right.
And a lot of your line items that, again, we listed all of the bidders that bid on each line item. And a lot of them are just that one offer. The one where you have multiple starts on line 26 and runs through 34.
number 4, the hot mix Kool-Aid. There's 2 people bidding on it.
You're correct.
And the Vulcan is local here in town, and East Texas Asphalt, is that in Cleveland or where they at?
Livingston.
Livingston. See, I can't drive to Livingston to save $2 a ton. I mean, so it don't work out for me. You know, so.
I don't.
You know, so the location has a lot to do with what we do, so. So I would have to go with Vulcan on that one. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but that's just where I'd be.
we've got Vulcan listed in the top slots.
Yeah.
It's the top slot,
Yes, I
Not the
did.
cheap
but you're not the cheapest. And
Primary. He is not when it comes to pickup, you're correct. But delivered. He is.
So Vulcan needs to be the primary.
you know, Vulcan needs to be primary all the way across because I mean, simply because of location. That's for precinct 2. Anybody else got a problem with that?
No, I'm on board with that too, Ron. As long as we have a backup, because I know there were several times Vulcan was out of the cold patch, hot mix, cold lay stuff. As long as we have a primary and a secondary,
And
to
then
me, both
East
can always
Texas,
be primary. And East
yeah,
Texas,
East Texas can be the secondary. And what else we got here? Vulcan's cheaper anyway on the next line item. Go with 5 like that?
I'm good with 5, yeah.
We go way down.
Go with Vulcan being the primary. Well, the other cheapest one anyways for hot mix.
Okay, number 10.
Funny.
Yeah, everything, they just one bidder on them.
Well, not on number 10, but.
Yeah, number 10's got
But Vulcan is
Vulcan
primary.
primary.
Vulcan primary on it already because they are cheaper. Same thing with the limestone on number 12,
12.
type of grade 2, 1.5-inch wash limestone.
Number 14 and. Or 15. We need to back out if y'all go chips and
Yeah,
reach out. I think Knife River is one she talked about that provided for us last year on those. Is that correct?
they're out now, but that don't mean that they won't get some, you know.
That's true.
And there is other options out there. So
Yeah, we definitely gonna have to go back out on that.
So 14,
Yes,
rebid,
14 and 15.
and 15.
Yep.
Yeah.
16,
wash limestone.
You're going back out. Let's go ahead and add that one over there.
Yeah,
all the ones that received a no bid, go ahead and rebid those.
We have to reach out to like Knife River again
Yep.
and what about, did we reach out to Hanson that's there south of New England, got the rail yard there?
They wouldn't bid on it before,
I know they wouldn't before.
but they may now, but there's also.
They're more
Hanson?
established.
I have to go back. I know we did send out an email to all of the current vendors for invitation to bid for the new year, as well. Besides posting online.
We'll make sure we reach out to them.
Okay,
But there is pits out around Marble Falls and North Austin that carry this material.
Okay.
And it just may be that we have to do something different, go about it a different way.
you gonna get her the contact on them? Okay.
yeah. Are we talking about, going back out for bids on everything, or, I mean, on some, or it makes me nervous to go back out on a bid, even if we just got one vendor. Because
No.
if we have items with no bids and no vendors, I think that doesn't bother me to go do that, but if we put a
Yeah,
bid
we're just
out,
talking about the no bids, Bill.
okay, just the no bids, all right, thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks
there's,
for-
I counted 13,
Okay,
no bids.
All right.
now
Thank you.
26. Oh, yeah.
Of course, a lot of stuff we don't use much.
Yeah, but you need access to it if you can. And of course, Vulcan's still on 23 is still, they're local.
Just for my information, it's the Green Dream Group.
It's Kasi,
Kasi.
the Kasi mine.
It's formerly known as Kasi. Or the Kasi mine.
Okay.
Uh,
Just verifying.
On number 26, sure,
Yes, sir.
we use that 1x3. And I can't drive to Kasi to get it when we need it, because it's usually during a rainstorm. So I need to go with Vulcan as my primary, and then I guess the Green Dream guys as secondary.
You want to just do Vulcan as primary pickup?
For me, yes.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, because we can't drive up there. We don't want to stock that stuff, you know, so.
Yeah.
And that's what we did last time.
Okay, so Vulcan is your primary
For pickup.
Pick up.
Pickup.
for pickup. And Dream is secondary for
Yes.
pickup.
Yes,
Is that everybody or just you?
What about it, Bill?
Yeah, it works for me too. Thanks. Yes.
Three by five, yeah,
3 by 5 is the same thing.
it's gonna have to be.
Now,
For me.
I did verify with the Green Dream, AKA Cussy, that these prices were the delivered prices. Then on where it says they're delivered and then the pickup is 1705. I verified with him because it was such a big break in pricing. I thought maybe he might have got a little confused, but he verified to me that that was delivered price.
I'm fine with him being primary on delivered, you know what I mean, so,
Yeah,
but not,
But
but
not
pickup,
pickup.
no.
Okay. Is that gonna be the same with 27?
27 is
Yes.
what, the 3 by 5, right? Rip ramp. So I don't use enough of it to,
Wait a minute, hold on.
that's the big
We
stuff.
we need to,
I'd almost say
so,
that,
hold on.
Yeah.
So Frost Crushed Stone and Posse Mine, are two different companies. Frost is the one we've always dealt with.
yeah, where is the other one?
I don't know unless that's what they're calling,
You know,
what's that
so,
one they use down there, Connors. This, yeah, so that's gonna change everything. So Frost is Casa. That's, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
that's who we've always used. That's who needs to be our primary. On
Oh.
1 by 3. So I'm looking at,
yeah, I do, but I also look, go back up 26. Let's start back up there,
Yeah.
if you don't mind.
yeah,
Cause I didn't see Frost at the bottom
Yeah.
down there. They're $16 a ton.
they're the ones that need to be our primary.
On the 1 by 3, not for me. Now I need Vulcan as my primary.
He
on
talking about,
pickup.
Yes, exactly. I mean,
And,
secondary.
and
I'm
then they
sorry.
need to be
They
secondary
need to be secondary.
for pickup. And then delivered would be for the green guys. I guess,
Yeah.
short of a new name, but
primary.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is. I mean,
That was my question. a while ago.
yeah, I didn't even see Frost at the bottom there. Cause they are $16 a ton versus 1705 up there.
So they're secondary on lines 26 for pickup and they will be primary for pickup on lines 27.
no, they'll be secondary too. We still need to pick up at Vulcan, or I do, at the 3 by 5. And then Frost Crushed Stone will be secondary.
Vulcan. Yeah, well, let's do the same for me on that one too.
Right?
Yeah. Vulcan be primary pickup. Frost to be secondary pickup. And then delivered would go to the same ones, the green guys,
Mhm.
Green Dream or whoever they are.
Delivery.
Lot secondary on the level.
What about it, Bill?
I'm good with whatever you guys are good with on that. I don't use much of the big rock at all. So whatever y'all
We
settle
don't
with.
either.
Yeah.
I got lost. I'll catch up with y'all.
28 ain't gonna really matter. They're
What
all-
is it? 5 by 8? All right, Frost is what, 19?
Yeah, would be your primary, I
And
guess.
then, yeah, they'd be primary for pickup. And then I guess secondary completely for the green guys.
Yeah.
Say green, I think about electric cars.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm really not sure who that is.
I don't either. I don't even know where they at.
They're a company out of, I believe, Virginia, Pennsylvania, but their line is here, they're, that's here over here.
They're in Kasi though, right?
Yes.
Because if they're not, then I don't need them anywhere,
They are.
you know?
Yeah, we're not going out of state.
I know we're not. You might want us to, but I'm not going to.
So, same thing on-
We're at 29. Frost is 29. Yeah. But not, I don't really know where these guys are either. If they're in Kasi, I guess we could find them, but.
Well, Vulcan did.
No more we use it. We can go Kasi mine as the primary and Vulcan as a secondary, or flip flop that, do Vulcan as a primary for location and green be secondary.
Yeah, that way at least we get access to it here.
We don't.
You're not gonna use enough of it to matter anyway, so.
So 29 Vulcan is primary.
Yeah.
Delivery?
Pickup.
Pickup. And is Dream gonna be primary for delivery?
Yes, ma'am.
And secondary? Or-
Secondary delivery, that'd be Vulcan.
No, well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You stay with Vulcan. I mean, the reality, it'd be stupid to drive over and get it for $27.50 when they're gonna deliver it for 33. So, makes no sense.
Okay,
That's what they
30.
did.
Hey, I hope we can live up to it. Where we at? Sure,
30.
30. Ross is 28.
Vulcan and.
Vulcan. Well, for pickup, you probably need to stay with local, because if you need it, you need it right now.
Primary and then drop it down to the screen.
So, Slot, was, I don't know where he's located, so y'all know these guys, y'all have.
Yeah, I mean, he's here in
He'll
local.
be Next, for the pickup.
No, Frost on 30, Frost would be. If we do primary as Vulcan,
Well, yeah, but I mean, actually, Jacob, if he got it in stock, does he keep it in stock, you think, or not? You don't know?
Don't know.
Because he is cheaper than they are.
Buck, are you out there?
He generally watches, doesn't he?
Buckner, Greg Buckner?
Well, he bid on it, so
Probably watching it.
I'd say that he's cheaper than Vulcan on that one.
on 18, we're gonna move him up to primary.
I'd move him up to primary, and if you want to do secondary,
Or, so Slot would be primary.
primary on that one.
Pickup.
Pickup, yes.
And, okay.
Secondary,
Secondary,
probably Frost, crushed stone,
Secondary pickup ought to be Frost.
yeah,
Okay.
and then delivery would be, primary would be what? Green,
Mhm.
and secondary would Jacob, I guess, huh?
Be Slot, yeah.
It's Slot.
Might figure out who these green guys are.
Okay, so 31,
Catch up with myself. All right, what do we got? 24 inch.
Jacob said he keeps it at stock and dipping bat,
Okay,
that pit at dipping bat.
so do you want 31 to mirror at line 30?
I believe so. If he keeps it,
price
keeps it all in stock.
Mirror, Okay,
LSD Walker be the primary. Secondary probably would go with the
So you
Frost.
want Walker to be primary for delivery and pickup?
Yes, for precinct 2, definitely.
Got it on both ends, isn't it?
Okay,
The secondary pickup would be, in my opinion, Frost. Right?
Okay.
That's what secondary delivery. Green gas.
Mhm.
You getting all that, Michelle?
I am.
I just checking. My memory's not this good.
I-
Let's go back up.
If I can just remember what my shorthand says. Okay, line's 33.
Let's say LSD Walker's primary.
For both?
Yes. Delivery and pickup, and then secondary pickup would be Frost. And then secondary delivery would be Slot. Next one only got 2, it's easy.
Okay,
The order they're in is okay by me.
and then as you can see, lines 35 through 41, there was one vendor line item.
Okay.
Yeah, and carry it on through 44. And then 45 through 47 will rebid as stated prior.
Okay.
We had one bidder for 48.
Okay.
And we're gonna rebid 49 and 50 as stated before. And then 51 is one bidder. 52, we had 2 bidders.
Or on the crushed concrete, we buy the most of that. For the was K&K, we said they had a problem, and then they changed their name. It's the plant on 1488. Are they not bidding anymore? Did we not send them anything?
Everybody who was a current vendor last fiscal year had been notified this year.
Okay. Fair enough.
So I do see a typo on 52. That should be 1167 instead of 167.
I would think so. Bill would like that. I don't think Jacob would like it. You'd like it, Bill?
Absolutely.
With a low bid on primary for Ellis Walker on lines 52, and then secondary will be Slot.
Yes.
And is that same for 53?
Yes. We run out of them.
What about the trap rock? Is that
That's
what?
54.
Yes,
Gonna
ma'am.
We
rebid.
are going to rebid that because we didn't get any bids.
Bill, where'd you get that trap rock from last time?
We bought it through Vulcan and they told us that they don't have access to it anymore.
They didn't renew their contract.
They did
for
not
the
renew their
year,
contract.
So we put it out.
Because we had sent them the renewal notice and they go, oh, no, we don't, we can't get it.
All right, that's that one.
So moving on,
We need motion on that.
I'll make a motion to accept number 37 as presented.
You're gonna work all this up and let us make sure we agree with it.
I will fix it up and get it to you guys for approval.
Okay,
Thank you, Mike.
You come back to court for approval?
as long as there's no
Long as it's as presented, we're
changes,
good.
yeah, we should be fine with it.
Second it.
Moving second, all in favor, raise your right hand.
As long as you can read your shorthand.
Motion carries. 38, discuss and take action to approve award of solicitation number C2360-23-012, oils and emulsions.
And as you can see, we had 2 bidders. And your first, bid to have, Cleveland Asphalt Products bid every line item. And Ergon did not bid the first line item. So the recommendation that I would make is to award it to Cleveland for primary. And if you have to have a secondary, I'd go with Ergon for the remaining line items. If you have to have primary and secondary.
Yep.
It is gonna be close.
I think it looks good.
Yeah.
Approved.
You okay then?
Yeah, there's only 2 cents difference in what we usually use.
Not much. Okay. I'll second that.
Yeah, moving seconded, all in favor, raise your hand.
Yes.
Motion carries. 39, discuss and take action to approve award of solicitation number C 2360-23-013 hydrated line.
So again, the bid tab shows that Austin White Line Company is your lowest bidder for the line items 1 and 2. And they did not elect to bid on 3. And so I would award that to the second bid received to Rapid Bulk Services.
Second bid. The only thing we ever use is 1 and 2. The quick lime or the hydrated lime.
Okay, so are you electing not to award line item 3 then?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that for all precincts or?
That's fine.
Okay, it is.
Brandon,
So we'll just have one
didn't hear.
contract for line.
pellet or power hydrated line, use that in a super sack.
Did y'all want to award the super sack?
Do you use it?
Well, I can't go to Austin and get it. I was trying to get that company out of Houston to bid on the super sack.
You like, we can go bid that one and rebid it.
We need to, we're talking about the super sack, rapid bulk, or not accept that part of it, right? And then rebid the super sack. That's what I need to do.
Okay. It's our priority to do. Okay. So we can award lines 1 and 2 to our Austin White, which is the low bidder. We'll no bid line items 3 and go out for rebid.
And I'll get you a number on a couple of those.
I'll make a motion, we accept number 39, using the Austin white lime for the quick lime and the hydrated lime.
Second.
Moving seconded, all in favor, raise your hand.
Yes.
Motion carries. 40, discuss and take action to approve award of solicitation number C 2360-23-014 generated preventative.
Are these for all the generators or just a particular bunch?
Yeah, I just think say this was for all the locations provided by maintenance.
Okay, but I don't see those locations. You know, so I'm just curious.
Listed, they are not listed on here because of the fact that they did it as a whole, not individual. They didn't bid individual.
We did
They
add
bid
that
it as a
one.
whole.
Phelps.
Okay,
You get it on it? Good.
so I mean, I guess I don't know whether it covered all the generators in the county or not.
There's a list of about 16 of them that are on this list, are there maintenance?
So it's pretty well,
The
you think
only
it's all
one,
of them?
the only one we knew wasn't on there was one in Phelps and we added it.
Okay,
We did add it.
sounds good.
So it looks like we need to go
So-
with generator services.
Okay. He is the incumbent, not
So they changed their name?
Pro Generator Services LLC.
Same one we've been using. I'm good with that.
That's your motion.
That's my motion.
Second, all in favor, raise your right hand.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Carrick.
Appreciate it, Ms. Cheryl.
All right.
All right, number 41, discuss and approve order 2023-111, amending the budget for fiscal year ending September 30th, 2023.
You should have received an updating from what was in the original packet. Okay, going through these, the first two.
When did you send it, Ms. Patricia?
Ally.
Ally brought it down
Now, let me look.
right there.
That's it,
The
Right
order,
here.
yeah, the order.
right?
This is claims.
That's fine.
Well, then I'll just tell you what they are.
Okay.
You're not the one in the book? All right,
Nothing changed.
What was added is that we received quotes from three of the precinct for their weapons that the court had approved. So we went back and added
Okay.
them so that they could go ahead and make those purchases funded out of contingency.
Okay.
So those are not what was in the packet,
They're-
but
they're in
we
the
are
book.
requesting.
these are updated.
Starting at the top, requesting that the $50,000 in SEF funds and the first $176,000 payment on the federal revenue sharing funds, that money be transferred out of general fund and placed in projects funds so that it will be available to carry forward to next year for it. Contingency, 10,900 and 4,000 coming out of our general fund contingency, 11,778 coming out of our special fund contingency. And we'll go through in a minute exactly where that money went. The $500,000 that we budgeted in special contingency in the general fund. During the budget, it was recommended that money be transferred to the projects fund and carry forward in that fund. Coming from contingency, $1,145 to the capital facilities fund. Voter registration, recording chapter 19 funds and recording the expenditures in voter registration and in elections. The next three is transferring central court cost money for attorneys to court at law and the 12th judicial district. The next four on my list is the transfer of the money from the contingency fund to those constables to
Okay.
go ahead and make those purchases this year. AgriLife extensions, $750 for a building permit. This was approved in the budget. It comes up for renewal in September or late August. So they're requesting money from contingency to fund that for this year. And then the 500 we've already talked about. Road and Bridge Precinct 3 transfer between operations and capital for piece of equipment that court approved recently. Road and Bridge Precinct 4 transfer of 6,000 from operations to salaries for overtime. EMS fund coming out of 14,600 coming out of their contingency fund for equipment purchases that were approved as part of the budget. Justice Court Technology transfer between contingency and operations. Sheriff forfeiture, the same thing, transfer of money between contingency and operations. And then getting down to the projects budget, we're showing the 500,000 coming in from general fund for that special contingency. So 50,000 coming in from the SEF funds. And then you'll notice in the revenue sharing funds, 352,000. 176 of that is what we talked about earlier, the money we've received earlier in the year. And then we've received that second payment very recently. So we've got a total of $352,000 in that line item. And what was discussed during budget is that that money would be used for EMS equipment, the ambulance, and then there was some additional, I think there was an additional, vehicle, I think a Tahoe for one of the, supervisors, and then some additional equipment as needed. Going down, moving 50,000 out of the strategic planning line item, moving that to contingency. And you'll see that the contingency has a net increase of 96.81. That's the 50,000 that was added, less the 40,319 that court approved for the outside building cameras at the SO. 500,000 going into contingency, the 352 going into an expenditure line item, and the 50,000 from Seth going into a line item. And then at the very bottom, 26,823 budget amendment to the CSCD adult grant or adult supervision.
Sounds good.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, raise your right hand.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries. 42, discuss and take action to move 25,000 from the waste station special project fund to road and bridge precinct 4 budget. Brandon?
This is just moving $25,000 out of the special funds. The road back there got pretty dilapidated in around the football stadium and going to the waste station. So they're just putting in what they can to help us do that. So I make a motion to approve now 42.
What is who putting in?
Sorry.
Who is putting what in, Brandon?
So the project's gonna cost more than 50, but they had 25 that they were willing to let us out of their fund. That's the money they make above and beyond when they collect. I don't remember the numbers, Patricia. They collect X amount a year, and whatever's over that, part of that goes into their special projects fund. This is their money that we hold, but it's their money per fund.
There's about 59,000 in there from several years back. Of course, no money's gone into that fund recently, but this is some money that is still remaining in that fund. And I think that you have a backup request in the agenda backup, right, from them.
Yes, I got an
requesting-
email saying that it's okay.
And so what are you gonna do with it?
Repair that road and going in front of that stadium. The backside over in Old Houston, repair that road from that stadium down to the way station,
Or is that road? County road?
county road. It's county road. They're just helping me fund redoing it. At Friday, it needs it on Friday nights and all the old towns there. You got dust flying all over the stadium and football fields. It was a paved road that's kind of been beat up and now it's rock, and we just need to get it fixed back where we don't have that problem.
That's where they bring the 18-wheelers from 75.
Yes, correct. They bring the 18 wheelers to the backside of the weight station down there is why they're helping us basically.
So, Commissioner, are you saying they've not formally made the request yet? You don't have any formal requests from them yet to?
I've got an email backup on it. Sergeant Adams was supposed to be here today. He's had some family issues, so I don't guess he's gonna be here. He's not online, is he?
I don't see an Adams online.
Yeah, they're okay with this. We've got the email backup.
I don't know if I'm okay with it yet, though.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, it's already a county road. So,
yeah. So it's it's just it's just a county road is all it is. Just a regular old county road. It's not any, anything.
That to be done as a donation of some sort, wouldn't you think, Quentin?
I'm proceeding with something that we didn't make.
Yeah.
I'm not, okay, so I'm not sure. So it's our money, right? It's sitting in the road and bridge fund
No.
from the police station.
Oh, it's
their money.
It is setting in the road and bridge fund, and it is a budgeted line item. And when that money was originally set up, the basically agreement with DPS is that they could request money for certain projects that would be done that benefit the road station.
Yeah, they've used it before. They bought, I mean, years ago, they bought several things.
TVs,
They
we
bought
bought
guys equipment, stuff like that. back when they
Right,
were-
we bought things that directly affected the waste station. We bought scales or something like that before we paid for a fan or electrical work. I mean, to me, that's what that number is for, what
Oh,
that,
we went back and bought the scales. I remember that.
Yeah, we bought, I remember the scales too. I think we paid for the scales.
Twice.
So when.
Yeah.
This has been
Oh.
many, many years ago. Whenever Old Houston was a dirt road, it had reclaimed asphalt on it. The last time, Tricia, you were here, cause I was here, you were here. They helped us repave part of that, they paid for part of the repaving of that road, 15 years ago when we redid it 15 years ago.
so when we're saying they, I guess that's the confusing part for me. Is there one fund or two? So remember, we used to collect the fees and they would go into a fund and then we could allocate them out to road and bridge. And then we had like a maintenance account. So when they're saying that they want to participate, are they saying that they want to give 25,000 out of their maintenance fund or whatever they have? Or are they saying we want you guys to go get your money and come do this for us? Which one is it?
They, a combination of what you just said, this is the money that was specifically set aside for improvements at the waste station that they basically make requests to the court to spend. They are making the request to use $25,000 of that money to pay toward the improvements on that road.
Yes.
It is not the bridge fund, it is their
Not the maintenance fund
allocation
either.
of the revenue over a certain amount from many years back.
So it's actually county funds that we let them use.
That was allocated for that purpose, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
in the agreement, they over, however many years ago it was, over X amount of money, then they got.
They got to keep, and I remember that.
And I've seen it in this stuff that, this last backup that Patricia had, like I said, it was $57,000 in there. You know,
Well, my problem is let them use it for the weight station and not roads. It's already a county road. I mean, once it crosses over that line over there where it becomes the weight station, use it over there.
yeah, and I guess
You know,
that's the clarity I need on it.
You know,
too,
that's,
is, you know, we let them use it before for things inside the way station, you know, but this is impacting the county road. So I don't know, Quentin, I'm kind of looking at Quentin to see what. I mean, this is more of a, to me, more almost like a donation deal. I mean, versus just.
Well, they
can we
donate
use
our money to,
Yeah,
Complicated because if it was their actual money, they could make a donation like this. These things happen all the time. The problem is that there's an agreement that allowed them to collect these funds. Collected under that agreement. And they're allowed to use by the weight station for repairs, maintenance, upkeep, whatever of the weight station. But as the Commissioner mentioned a minute ago, they're using this particular road to divert 18-wheelers. And the 18-wheelers have damaged the road. So if the weight station, if the sergeant believes that this benefits the weight station, then he can allocate the funds that way. Essentially, he's the one making the request to spend $25,000 for repairs on a road. That's it. That's putting it in the best light for the commissioner's request.
I think, is there a way we could get, I'm not necessarily 100% opposed to it, but just to say we need $25,000 for a road, I would be more comfortable if some sort of a proposal was brought back to say it's this far, it's this wide, you know, kind of like we do a normal road. What are we going to do with it? Are we going to are we going to put rock? We're going to pave, we're going to chip it or whatever with the real, you know, with the request from, and if it's in the email, I don't have that. I apologize. I don't have access to that right now, but more of a project request from them with a scope and a broken out cost of what we're going to do, then we have something to decide on versus just a number that just showed up on a piece of paper. That's my 2 cents.
Okay.
The only backup was the email of them requesting to move the money to our fund to help with the repair of the road.
I was just telling her there was no backup.
Okay, so
No,
No backup.
No backup.
So
it's kind of like, I don't think 2 weeks would kill us to write a scope up. And I think if we do choose to fund it, my thoughts is I would participate in materials only. So we just need to see what they're going to do with it. And I don't know how long it is, how wide it is, what shape it's in. Here's somebody just wants us to go spend 25 grand. I don't know if that takes care of the project or that's too much or not. So it's not an up to 25,000. It's allocate 25,000. So I would prefer to see a scope and an estimated, project description and cost, more so than just a transfer request.
how about verbally? Would you be okay if I verbally talked about it? It's about 2,000 foot. It's gonna be about 24 foot wide of base, 24 foot wide of stabilization, 22 foot of base, probably gonna get about 20 foot of asphalt on top of it for that 2,000 foot that's all the original area was all rock where it was dilapidated. We put rock, filling in potholes. And granted, there's also the traffic of the school on there, all the car rider line for the elementary school there. Running through the dilapidated area. So the proposal is turn it back to original soil there, stabilize it, add 6 inches of rock on it, then prime it, put 2 inches of asphalt on it. It's about 2,000 foot. I don't know the exact number. We're looking at the cost of redoing roads right now for asphalt that way is around between $250,000 and $300,000 per mile. So I'm looking at spending around $125,000 to $150,000 out of my budget on the county road. And the weight stations just I asked them, would they be willing? And they said, yeah, we'd love to help you on our road. Here, all we've got is $25,000 to put forward to that. So I'm gonna spend about 125, 150, and they're just chipping in 25,000 to help on it, because they do utilize that road for the 18 wheelers that they ring off 75, and they contribute to the dilapidation of it. Weber did a lot of that damage when they rebuilt I-45 using that road. So they're offering us money to help us redo that road. Can't see why we wouldn't take it.
I'm kind of there, but it kind of goes back to what Ronnie said also a minute ago. Is somewhere in there we draw a line and we say this is a public road, and the other side of the line is the weigh station. And our agreement with them is, here's a maintenance fund we're going to set up for you for improvements at the weigh station or to the weigh station. So when that, for lack of a better way to say it, the big ass fan, which I think is the actual name brand of that fan, goes out, I think that dude was close to 10 grand by himself when it went out. So those are more. I mean, I'm not 100% opposed to it, but I don't think it's the letter of the letter of the agreement that we put with them. I think it kind of steps outside of that. But and I appreciate the update on the scope. That I had no idea how big it was, so now I do know. But I mean, it's not a huge deal to me, but I think we got to get comfortable with whether it's part of whether that road and access to it is, and them using it as part of the weigh station or not. I guess the fact that they drive trucks in and divert them that way might gray that line a little bit. That's the only part I got to get comfortable with, is that we give them money to maintain the weigh station, not the appurtenances adjacent to.
If they spend it now and then they have issues, what'd you say was in it, Patricia, 50-something thousand? Then they're gonna be looking at us for money.
But this isn't the maintenance fee. This isn't the maintenance budget.
It may not be their maintenance budget, but they use it for things around the weight station, right?
Yes, sir. At their discretion.
At their discretion, exactly. But to work on the road, I'm still having an issue working on the county road with it. And I don't know if I can get past it. Y'all might can, but I don't know. I'm not sure I can get past that part of it. You know, I see the line basically where the road stops and they spend it inside that weigh station. Instead of them being able just to donate it to whatever cause they want to donate it to.
I think
If
I'm
that's
with you on that.
we need to close that fund and take the rest of that money and put it back in general fund. That's where I would feel on it
Do
anyway.
we have anybody else on YouTube, on that can speak?
I mean, no unusual names. You have a
I see one of the,
Civic?
You don't see Sergeant Adams.
I would love to say something. This is Jacob Slot.
I know you're there somewhere. Where are you at?
Yep, I'm here. I'm trying to get this thing to work. So
You don't see Sergeant
Thank
Adams
you.
on it.
hey, I'd love to speak on it. This road is a dead end road that y'all use for the weigh station. It causes a ton of traffic for New Waverly. And they've obviously tore it up. It's really benefiting nobody other than the weigh station. My prefer as a citizen of New Waverly would be to go on and move it somewhere other than out of New Waverly, because it's nothing but a hindrance to our traffic problem. It's a major issue. So it needs to be fixed. It's all beat up, tore out, and it's because they parade 18-wheelers up and down it daily. So there needs to be money spent. Maybe you should pull it out of general fund to fix it, because it shouldn't be come out of precinct 4's budget.
Yeah, I don't
That
see
road
that.
is yeah. So
Yeah,
I'll just say that the weigh station is a hindrance on New Waverly, and I would love for this court to vote to move it out of New Waverly, and then we wouldn't even have to have this discussion. So
I appreciate
there,
you.
I've said my piece. Yes, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Jimmy wants
Yes,
to say
sir.
something.
Well, it's time, guys. Like I used to say on court, it's time to move forward. So you can spend a week on this, but as a past commissioner of precinct 4, that road is dilapidated. It is tore up. They do join us the weigh station there, as y'all know, so it is a part of the weigh station. Due to all the weigh station, when it is open down there, they dodge the weigh station on 45. All those 18-wheelers come through 75. They built a little side pad there off by side Buckner Road to kind of pull them over, but it's still kind of dangerous. And, you know, it's got to be fixed, you know, one way or the other, due to safety, school being in front of that, it's got to be fixed. And money's always going to be an issue with the courts, issue with me on things that I do. So you might as well say, hey, let's move forward. I know Sergeant Adams, a very nice guy. Worked with him before on different things, but this would be a great thing to move forward on. And then when the time comes, you look at her and say, Patricia, we haven't contingency. She has a magic wand. She pulls out. I think we might can fund this. So, you know, it's time to move forward and let the court have the money. She's the first strings, but that money's there. You're right. You know, it's there to take care of the property on the weigh station. But this is part of the weigh station that they're using it. And the reason it's dilapidated, tore up is because of the weigh station bringing it in. And they're willing to take that money and put it forward. So I appreciate that y'all move forward and let Commissioner Precinct 4 have that money. And then when it comes up, because you're always going to need money, turn to that lady right there. She's a miracle worker. Thanks, y'all.
Right, Jimmy. Well, I still see it as a county road. It's still our responsibility to take care of the county road with or without the $25,000, and the 25 still needs to stay inside the property where the weight station's at. And if they able to donate it outside the property, then they don't need it in the first place. We need to take it away from them. That's where I stand on it.
I don't have a problem with it. I think trucks tore it up anyways.
Trucks tear up roads every day, all over the county. You know, it's not always about New Waverly every time.
Yeah.
You know, so.
But when we have an oil well somewhere, you're gonna make them people pay for that road too.
They donate to.
Yeah.
You ask.
Yeah.
You ask for it.
They don't have to do anything.
They
they
don't.
don't. They ask you, when you ask and they give it to you, you say, thank you.
Well, you're basically taking money from inside the government, not your budget. You know, I mean, you budget to take care of the road anyway.
I'll give you a second on it. All in favor for the motion? Raise your hand. All opposed.
I
Motion.
would like a little, more. I'm not saying don't bring this back, but I would like a little more clarity. from
Where'd you vote?
Sergeant Adams and them.
Was Doug.
Yeah,
He was against.
I was a no.
I was typing.
I didn't see him raise his hand. Oh,
Oh,
43, discuss and take action on the order of constitutional amendment for a special election to be held November 7th, 2023. Well, there's 16 constitutional amendments to be voted on. That's in the form of a motion.
yeah. Most of them,
Yeah, they wrote by lawyers. That's for sure.
yeah,
Mhm.
they definitely was. And I can't even say how I could vote right or wrong on it, not knowing the language in there.
Yeah, you better do lots of research, I guarantee you.
But anyway, we got an election coming. That's your
Yeah,
motion.
that was my motion.
Second,
Moving second, all in favor, raise your right hand.
yes,
Motion carries. 44, discuss and take action on notice of the election of the November 7th, 2023. That's my motion too.
second,
All in favor, raise your right hand.
yes,
Motion carries. 45, discuss and receive information on certified values, tax roll, and final calculations for the no new revenue tax rate and voter approval rate.
Did receive the certified tax roll from the appraisal district and a recalculation of the money revenue rate and the voter approval rate. The values actually went down from the estimated values. And of course, the effect of that was that the no new revenue rate increased from 39.77 to 39.78. And then the voter approval rate,
No, James, right?
James, no, I got it.
He's down on one knee in front of you. Ronald better watch out.
So the no new revenue rate increased from 39.77 to 39.78. The voter approval rate increased by a slight amount also. So the net effect is that the values amount decreased, and then the overall the 4127 rate that was advertised will actually generate a little bit less revenue than what we had originally proposed. That is the maximum rate that the county can adopt based on the posting that we did. So.
Anybody got any questions on that?
no,
Other than we knew, Mr. Tricia, you didn't need them papers up on the floor. You got it all memorized, anyhow.
Well, just that one.
All right, number 46, discuss and take action on any changes to be made to the budget filed with the county clerk for the fiscal year October 1st, 2023 to September 30th, 24.
In addition to any other changes the court may want, I would recommend that we request that the information we print in the budget be based on the certified values and the recent calculation, just so that the most current information is part of the budget.
so that would be in the motion.
That would be in the motion as one of the changes you would make in addition to anything else you wanted to change.
I think it's too late to change anything.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rest of them think, but that's where I'm
We
stuck
come
on
as
it.
far.
We've come a long ways. Anybody else got anything?
nope,
Nothing from you, Bill?
nope,
I make a motion to make changes to the filed budget to modify information about the ad valorem taxes to reflect certified value information calculations rather than certified estimate information available at the time of filing the budget.
Basically, in our narratives, we would be changing from the 39.77 to the 39.78.
I'll give you a second.
Move second, all in favor, raise your right hand.
yes,
Motion carries. What?
Everybody good?
Yep. 47, discuss and take action by record vote to ratify the property tax revenue increase reflected in the budget for Walker County for the fiscal year October 1st, 2023 to September 30th, 2024, as required by LGC 111.008 Section C, when adopting a budget that will require more revenue from property tax than in the previous year.
This is a requirement of statute that the court ratify the amount that's in the proposed budget or the budget to be adopted.
Okay. Anybody got any questions?
Nope.
I make a motion to ratify the property tax rate increase reflected in the budget for Walker County for the period October 1, 2023 to September 30th, 2024.
Be a record vote. Ms. Kirkendall?
Precinct 1 votes 4.
Precinct 2, 4.
No. Bill?
Precinct 3, 4.
Precinct 4 is no.
Motion carries. 48, discuss and take action on order 2023-112 by record vote adopting the budget for Walker County for the fiscal year October 1st, 2023 to September 30th, 2024.
Anything from you, Miss Patricia?
No.
Let me just, we've done a lot in this budget. We appreciate what you've done, putting it together for us.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of good things in there. And there's things I don't agree with too, but there's a lot of good things in there. We're adding a bunch of officers this time. We're adding actually 5. Public safety is our #1 priority this court. So
Yep.
That's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, the one thing I would note just for the record is that because of the, we're basically doing a 1.49% increase over the effective versus the 1.5 because of the recalculation. That does result in less of a levy. So rather than budgeting at 96.5% collection rate, we're budgeting at a 96.8% collection rate. Money doesn't change. The percentage of the levy that we're budgeting to collect is changed.
Anybody got anything to say? Y'all good?
Yeah.
Bill, you want to say anything?
I think we're good to go. I agree with you. We had a good budget, some good, some tough. I think we ended up with a good budget.
I make a motion to adopt order 2023-112, adopting the budget for Walker County for the period October 1, 2023 to September 30th, 2024.
Second.
Motion seconded. It'll be a roll call vote again.
Precinct 1 votes 4.
Precinct 2, 4.
No. Bill?
Precinct 3, yes. 4.
Precinct 4, no.
Motion carries. 49, discuss and take action on order 2023-113 by record vote adopting the tax rate for fiscal year October 1st, 2023 to September 30th, 2024 in the total amount of 0.4127 per $100 for an assessed taxable valuation consisting of an operations rate of 0.3926 per $100 of assessed taxable valuation and a debt rate of 0.0201 per $100 for assessed taxable valuation.
Anything from you, Patricia? You good? Anybody got want to say anything, Bill? You good?
I think that the tax rate that we've got above the no new revenue tax rate of 1.5 cents pays for our sheriff's officers that we put on the ground and the cost of living raise that we gave to our employees during the highest inflation year that I can remember back. So with growth in our county comes expenses that we have to grow our public safety. So I have no troubles investing in that, and investing in our employees has made a huge improvement, I think, at the county over the last couple of years. So I have no issues with voting the extra penny and a half whatsoever, and I intend to vote yes on this.
Well, and also the perception of this, next motion, I guess, is that, in reality, we are raising taxes 1.5 cents, but we are also actually lowering them 3.5 cents.
That's a
From
very important point.
You know.
Very, very
Yeah.
important.
So it's very valuable that the public understands that, because of the inflation, this is the reason we have to do these things and trying to keep good health. We've come a long ways with our salary study and people to, stay in Walker County that live here and retain them. That's been done in the last 2 or 3 years and it's come a long ways. You know, EMS is retaining people, the sheriff's department, jail are retaining people. Where in the past, we were just a pass through. So, and that's what this takes to make this all work. So, with everybody's help, it is definitely moved forward. And I think that's enough for me. I don't know about you.
Well, I think y'all said it. So, and I agree with it. So we'll just move on.
Record that.
And it, well, I gotta make a motion too,
Okay.
but it's not quite 1.5 cents. Yeah, a little bit under. I make a motion that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of the total amount of 0.4127 per $100 of excess taxable valuation consisting of an operations rate of 0.3926 per $100 of assessed taxable valuation and a debt rate of 0.0201 per $100 of excess taxable, which is effectively a 3.75% increase in the tax rate, and to adopt order 2023-113. Patricia, before we vote, would you explain that 3.75%, what it consists of?
It is a percentage calculation of if the court had adopted the 39.78 rate instead of the 41.27. That's the percentage increase between those two numbers.
Okay, so basically it's the 1.5 cents plus the new growth. Something similar to that.
Right. It's literally a comparison of the two rates.
Okay.
And let me, I'm glad you brought that up, Ronnie. And I've mentioned it at previous budgets. The state puts its fingers into our budget and basically says, if you do not adopt this, I'm going to call it the effective rate, the no new revenue rate, then you are raising taxes. They want us to say that out loud. And I've disagreed with it from the start because like Commissioner Kirkendall said, we lowered our taxes 3.5 cents this year. That's significant. There's other entities that aren't lowering their tax rate. We lowered ours 3.5 cents, but the fact that somebody's valuation home may have gone up more or something, or the new growth or whatever is going to give us more money. They twist the words, in my opinion, at the state level to try to force counties to keep adopting that no new revenue rate. We did that for a lot of years and it caused us severe financial strain and stress and loss of employees. So I've never had agree with that language. So that's just my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, move signal, start a vote.
Precinct 1 votes for.
Precinct 2, 4.
No. Bill?
Precinct 3, 4.
Precinct 4, no.
Motion carries. Yeah, thank you, Ms. Allen.
Thank you, Ms. Allen.
Andrew, you're up. Number 50, discuss and take action on preliminary approval of infrastructure development plan for My Family RV Park. Feed 2023-023-RV contingent upon supplement completion, William Lindley Survey A-323 US 190.
So approval of the IDPs, the preliminary approval allows us to move forward on the project. Construction, no objection from the reviewing engineer. The only contingencies that we normally have is have to get their OSSF approval and get that put in. We have a permit system for that. They're going to get their addressing plan before now and final approval wrapped up. And then when they do final approval, they'll submit it for filing. Right now, the set that we have is for review, but not all the copies need for filing. So those three contingencies that we kind of always have. But other than that, we offer it for preliminary approval.
Bill, you got anything on this one? That's your
I do not.
precinct.
I do not. Actually, I'm kind of at a disadvantage here a little bit where I'm at, so I'm apologizing for that. I'm trying to call that back up. Andrew, no comments at all from you on this, sir?
No, it's been reviewed and we have a no objection on the review, engineer from our office. With the contingencies I just listed, which are common. This is preliminary approval only. This allows them to get moving on the project. Once everything is completed, we do a final inspection and bring it back to court for final approval and final.
Okay, that's fine. I'll make that motion to approve this then.
So moved and seconded, all in favor, raise your right hand.
We second.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard you though. Motion carried. Weak. Is-
It was me. It was me.
Number 51, discuss and take action on Mid-South Electric Co-op utility installation request along Robinson Creek Road.
We'll bring this forward. This is in precinct 2. I think Commissioner Lockley had looked at it.
Yeah, I didn't really have any objections to it. It looked like it pretty well fit into what they normally kind of do with us and so my motions is approved.
I'll get, no, second. Ray, moved and seconded, all in favor, raise your right hand.
Yes.
Motion carries. 52, discuss and take action on U.S. Forest Service request for variant on-site sewage facility regulations for Walker County regarding permit number 2023-0058.
You know, I've seen y'all more in this court in the last 6 months than I have in the last 12 years.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but
They give us money to work on our roads.
it's better. I like seeing you. Yeah, it's good.
They give us money to work on our county roads.
Well, that's good. That's good. I'm proud they do. But is there money to donate?
The fourth is here, they have an application for replacing an on-site wastewater system with an aerobic plant over here. When they did a deeper inspection into the system, they discovered that it actually, the sewer line is actually also serves kitchenette in the existing office building and goes under the parking lot, which is between this building and this building. It's a paved parking lot. And then exits the parking lot here and ties in. So the on-site wastewater code has specs for this line. It's under the parking lot and has requirements for crossing a water line and a sewer line that's also under the parking lot. I don't have any idea what's under the parking lot. We know.
Nobody does.
We know what's coming out. I don't know how that crossing was made initially with the water and sewer. And so they have to come before court. Grants. I have to hold them to the rule up.
Yeah.
Expose it for inspection. To require them to pothole that parking lot and.
Everything I've ever seen the best government do, and over-engineered and built beyond normal specs, so my motion can be to approve it.
I don't mind giving you a second, but I disagree with what first statement you said.
Andy, you said. The over-engineered.
Yeah. There you go.
You said the left hand is to the kitchenette. So
Yeah,
just
so-
gray water.
There's an existing building that goes to a little kitchenette. In it here, no dishwasher.
No dishwasher.
Yeah.
And then there's a little green space here, so there's a clean out there, there's a little bit of green space. Then it goes under pavement. Down next to this building,
Yeah.
and so that water line crossing, that sewer line under there's no way for me or my office to inspect that without potholing it.
Yeah.
That creates kind of a damage situation in the middle of their parking lot, and so they're coming for this.
Yeah. All right, we got a motion and a second, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion
Yes.
carries. 53,
Thank you.
discuss and take action on Patricia Matthews' request for variance to on-site sewage facility regulations of Walker County regarding permit number 2020-0505.
This is a setback variance. Fairly new wastewater system. The wastewater system was installed. The swimming pool went in, when they put the pool in, the water lines that serve the swimming pools are potable water lines. They're required to meet a setback under. setback is not being. So they have requested a variance, not have to move the wastewater line, or requesting a variance to table 10 based on the drawing you have in front of you. There is a they don't meet the full distance requirement for the setback for the water line. This is the sort of, we've had this come up a couple of times. Where the pool is also come in after the fact. Saw the water lines close.
Mhm.
Yeah, our code is that there has to be a separation distance between them. In this case, I believe the wastewater system was in place first. But it still violates the setback.
And the
Yeah,
pool is already constructed.
yeah,
It's
there's a sanitarian. That's got a
Yeah,
statement in there, said it's okay in their opinion, you know, so. What number is it? 53. I make a motion to approve agenda item 53. I'm sounding weak now.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, raise your right hand.
Get my tea back out.
Motion carries. 54, discuss and take action on C2 Establishments LLC, Matthew Collins' request for variance to section 5 of the Walker County subdivision regulations regarding amending plats to be allowed to proceed under section 232.010 of the Texas Local Government Code to convey portions of plotted lot via meets and bounds descriptions for tract 14 of the Oak Creek subdivision. Azera Web Survey A608 Willow Creek.
20 years ago. A portion of this lot was divided out, sold by separate deed off of Big Drive. It's 2 owners, current owners. We're going to support it. We require them to file a replat. If this is not, branch is not granted. The variance request is to allow, they have meets and bounds, the lots were sold by meets and bounds. The request before the court is to access 232.010, allow them to do, allow them to divide the property by meets and bounds without filing a replat. I thought we had that in our new code that you could do twice. Can apply to subdivision. So you can't divide without filing a replat to apply to subdivision. And they have frontage on the county road, but not 2 10-acre tracts. It's 10-acre total tract, and the part they cut out is smaller. The lot size. So the court has granted a couple of basically gives the court the authority to grant a lot of meets and bounds and apply to subdivision without requiring a replat.
And this is already broke out in.
It was broken out 20 years ago.
Yeah, kind of one of those older ones, but got any major issues with it?
Other than it would require variance. I'll have to file a replat.
Yeah, I need that.
Dan,
Might have me
you
get
come
on.
too?
I'm good. We bang it done.
All right, I make a motion to approve agenda item 54 as presented.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, raise your right hand.
Yes.
Motion carries. 55. Public hearing concerning amendments to the Walker County subdivision regulations under chapter 232 of the Texas Local Government Code, including but not limited to county road frontage requirements.
So they're essentially, for the most part, the same list that we went over.
Lines 11, 10, 9. Sorry.
Essentially, the same list that went over the last time we had a public hearing. Minor changes. One of them is to wishes. It is to restore the filing of the minor plats back into the deed record. Discussed it previously. I think the Clarkson agreement provides an additional storage space. She believes that the system can reference them. For us, processing is a little simpler. I'm using that method because the plat notes are generated by our document. It takes some time to check all the notes. And so that's also been added in. Some language to affect that has been added in. Other than that, it's for the most part very similar to what you guys looked at before. Some of it is with the fact that whether or not the county will allow private road subdivisions without a variance. Some language has been changed in there for that. As a sort of a big thing. And then minimum county road frontage requirement. So the frontage definition used to include private roads, would now only include private roads if a variance was granted. That's a broad stroke. We're in the public hearing now, correct?
Yes.
I guess I didn't know about the last one. I just found out about this. Just got a couple of small things. And maybe I just don't understand them on 3.36. Page 14.
And Mike, what number?
3.36.
Page 14.
You through form for the words. Cross that was same exact thing. So we're gonna
It's, that was just there's a bunch of places here where they like punctuation, so that was just.
Okay.
Hyphenated it.
It was just to add the hyphen.
Okay. And then, so in 3.70, which is kind of 18. I guess it says minor subdivisions are also not required to submit a title report, but shall include all encumbrances noted in the current title report. So do they have to have one or not?
Way that reads is they don't have to have a title report, but they do have to report the income.
Yeah, they do not have to, they don't have to submit a copy to us of the title report. But the plat should note that it
It
was
says right there, they're not required to submit one,
the title report.
but that we have to list all encumbrances of the title report. We don't have to submit
On the plat,
Okay.
on the plat, but you'll have to give us a copy of it.
It's kind of confusing.
The main goal is that it's just to make sure that plots are being prepared with the benefit of.
I understand that, but to me it says that you don't have to, but then. Says they're not required to submit a title report.
Right, to us. They don't have to send a copy to us, they don't have to submit it with their application, but the plat that comes in with it. Needs to be based on and make the fact that the title.
It's confusing. I'll agree with Mike. It's very confusing.
Well, the report and the plat are two different things.
I understand that, but it says you don't have to submit one, but yet you have to get one not to submit it, and then I don't know, it's confusing to me, but either way. So page 20, 22. Text type. That's not a very reasonable request. I mean, that's all the time. There's it's almost impossible to make everything. And someone can construe the way you have it written as 0.08. If you do 0.08, that should be times the scale. To get text size. But I mean, I personally think, I mean, we put stuff on there that's for all the time, and I know drafting is horrible. I see a lot of it, but 0.08 is not, almost not physically possible in some cases.
So it's a minimum of 0.8 inches.
Times the scale of the plat. If it's 100 scale, then it's a different size text than is if it's 200 scale.
Well,
I know this
the one that's submitted to us,
Right.
right, is a required document. The physical size of the text would be 0.08 inches.
So it's an equation. It's 0.08 times the scale of the drawing. I understand what I know your intent, but I'm just saying that someone else may skirt that. That's all I'm trying to say.
So what Andrew's saying is the printed version has to measure to the 0.08 inches.
Yes.
So you would have to do a multiplier in your CAD to
Yeah.
get to that.
I don't think that's a good, I think that's too big. So, I mean, for whatever that's worth. I would put a 0.04, but I understand that everybody else will mess that up, so I'd probably put 0.06. just like a 60 road, so that it's hard, I mean, that's legible in every situation. But if they put a 0.04 and don't like make it thinner, then it's not, but.
Depends on the thickness of the text.
Right. But like if you take like a big subdivision at a 200 scale and you can't put all the bearings and distances in there at 108, they won't fit. I mean, they'll be stacked up on top of each other running across lines.
So you're.
Y'all thinking of.
Y'all wanted to know all that, right?
Yeah.
Your big comment is.
That's important.
I think 0.06 would be a
It's
reasonable.
yes. Eddie had the same comment, by the way. He's actually the one.
Okay.
I sent that to him, so he's been doing it a lot longer than me. That's it.
Thanks, Mike.
So good, and I guess I missed it last time. So all minor plats are going back to the small papers? It's just if
It's
you
an
want.
option.
If they approve it and it says on their May, it doesn't say are required.
So will they have to come back and get like a variance to that, or is that just?
No, if it's adopted in the policy, it says that they may be submitted that way and processed that way.
So you can still do the other if you.
Okay.
I feel like the bulk of them in that way, but
That's
they
the
may have,
small ones.
we may need to do a large one.
Yeah.
Anything else for public comment?
I got one thing, if that's all right.
Okay.
Two questions, Andy. One is on the 100% compaction. That's a interesting, I guess, test there. Not something we normally do,
I think.
unless I'm misreading that.
Let me find that page real quick. You remember what page it's on, Jacob?
And I'm on my iPad, so, and I'm in my truck. I'm looking, hold on.
It's under B7.
B7, I believe.
B7.
B7 under base material. Yeah, B7 under
Yeah.
base material.
Jacob, that was one of the things we removed between the last time and
It's at 95% now, back where it's always been.
Okay, good. Well, the copy I had 100%. And
Yeah,
so,
that was-
second thing. Yeah, second thing is the sign off, the engineer sign off before you go to the next step. Just like an operation like us, if you're lineman on a big road and then you're putting base material, 48, 72 hours later, there's gonna have to be an engineer basically there every day to approve the next step. So long as y'all are aware of that they'll have to be there, somebody there every day. Now, maybe on a smaller scale, it won't be, but on a big deal, it's the testing. The testing will have to be reviewed daily by an engineer. So that's the only thing that I had, because what we do is we check it in-house and make sure that the stabilization is passed before we put base on it. Once we get the passing test results, we put base and we keep moving. But I mean, you're talking about when you're building thousands of foot of road, I don't know if y'all want to review it that quick. That's the only thing that I seen in there that would kind of maybe be a hindrance, it'd hurt the county, I guess. Like county, a lot of work on the county. That's all I really had, unless, you don't discuss it anymore.
Where exactly are we at? Andy?
I'm trying to find that.
Okay.
B5 in the construction general.
County engineer must offer no objection to test results prior to constructing the next course of the roadway.
Page 50.
It's the county engineer must offer a no objection to the test results prior to construction the next course of the roadway structure.
So under V5,
B 5.4.
That was in the previous, that was in the original version.
It's still in here. The county engineer must offer a no objection to the test results prior to construction and next course of the roadway
No, the
structure.
change. Approved to offer no objection.
That's just something that happens daily on a big project, you know, to make sure. So I don't know if the county's wanting to be reviewing that daily to keep, otherwise, if you let lime, as y'all all know, you let it sit there for a week or two, you know, waiting on the next to put base on top of it, you got to keep it watered and everything else, it can come apart, you know, it needs to be covered up. Really not a factor when you're going from base to asphalt, because we got to make, you know, we all review that beforehand, but that's really when the factor is between, you know, you got lime stabilization, you're trying to cover it up as the tests come in.
Didn't we do something, Andy, last time about contractors moving on at their own risk?
Yeah, that's kind of the way that's been being operated. If they choose to move forward without it, then we could add some language.
Yeah, I remember, Danny, I remember that. I was going to make that exact comment that we almost did a buyer beware kind of a deal, or a contractor at risk almost. I mean, I don't see how we can say it's okay to put your next course on without us approving it. You know, the course that's on the base course, we can't do that. But if the contractor is willing to risk putting it on top prior to the results coming back, maybe that's the language we have to put in there. If it's not in there, maybe that's the language we have to put in there, or something like that. If it says he can't do it until we give the final approval of that course, then there's no wiggle room in that one. But a contractor would have to understand that if you choose to go to the next course prior to getting our approval, then if that fails, everything you put down is coming back up.
My suggestion would be that you would put in there that you don't move forward until your testing lab approves, you have approved tests from your testing lab, not that the county has to review them. So long as the testing lab tells you to move forward, because we're all going by a geotechnical lab. So they're the ones actually running the show. You are trusting them to do it. They're checking our work. So as long as they're saying we can proceed the next day, it doesn't take that next step up to the county, that the county would do it in between phases, or, review it at the end, however you want to do that. I don't know how that language should be written, but that would make, just it being in the regulations, I think that something like that would be better. Don't move forward without, the approved test results from the geotechnical engineer.
I don't know that I have a problem with that. I mean, it's a independent third party. If they're willing to say, this is the final report and we're going to see that final report later. And maybe something we do have to talk about the language on that, because I don't want somebody covering a road up that hasn't passed a test. But if it's
100% agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
your concern is specifically about going from subgrade to base.
Yes, or subgrade to base. Not necessarily on a big job, the pavement could be, because we all went back and, y'all wanted the base test retested. So we test is 3 to 4 days ahead of asphalt. So we have almost a brand new test.
The asphalt, you're generally laying that in sections so you could have a section approved.
Yes.
Correct. So the big issue for you is going from subgrade to being able to place base.
Correct. Because when you're just lime stabilizing, we usually do between 600 and 1,000 foot a day, and then we're trying, 2 to 3 days later, we're basing 600 to 1,000 foot a day, and it's a process. When we're doing it, because you're keeping it covered up, and as some test results come in, we're making sure that that we have good lab results before we cover it up. So, we make sure the tests are good. I'm just saying that putting that in the regulations, it says I got to submit that to the county every day. There's going to have to be somebody technically reviewing that. I understand the buyer at your own risk kind of deal, but if as long as the lab approves it, I think that would be more the language that should be in there. You can't move forward to the next step without a passing test from your from your geological engineer.
All that, Andy?
That's a lot.
So,
Or you rewrite the-
something like this, Jacob, it said that the owner, if the owner has testing performed in accordance with these standards and has approval of the certified lab and owner's engineer, the owner may submit testing results for subgrade following base being placed. Would
That
get you
sounds
where
good
you-
to me. Yeah, so that sounds good to me. It take
Are
a
you
lot of
gonna-
work off the county. I mean, ultimately, we're responsible. I mean, hopefully nobody covers up without a passing test, because we don't, and if they do, that'll be on them. So
Are you going to insert?
it just take a
that in
lot off the county.
Yeah, we could just insert that in there,
Somewhere about.
right after that.
No
sentence.
objection, yeah.
So that sentence, this would be a caveat to that sentence. We just add this line right in behind that sentence that he just was talking about.
But if you don't take that, the county engineer must offer a no object to test results.
Yeah.
And you're still waiting on somebody to say, move forward.
Yeah, except for the next line would say, if the owner has testing performed in accordance with these standards and its approval of the certified lab and owner's engineer, the owner may submit testing results for subgrade following base in place. So we had that line in there after that, the caveat that.
Okay.
I think the,
Well, do you need to include, I mean, because obviously you got to have a test of the base is supposed to be tested before you put.
yeah, but the base, his concern is not about the base testing being done prior to the placement of the asphalt. His concern is that they do subgrade and follow right behind it with base. And it would mess up their project schedule. He's not concerned about asphalt, so having the test no objected by us for the is not something he's worried about. It was the going from subgrade and putting the base.
Putting the rock.
That's what he's worried about.
Anybody else got anything in public comment? Oh, yep.
Thank y'all.
You just state your name for Ms. French.
My name's Joe Sherwood. Professional engineer, I live in Walker County. Got two things on in subdivision regulations. First thing is when a consulting engineer does a design and is asked to certify the as-built, got no problem with that. However, there's sometimes where we do not have it in our contracts to do the inspections or to do that part of the work. So the construction management, if it's tied to the consulting, is fine. I got no problem with that, but it's hard for me to certify something that I don't I'm not getting paid to go out and inspect. So we may need to have something in the regulations or something that says that whoever the inspection is has to be done by either an engineer or someone who is on that project. So I can design a project, it can go be bid, and then the county or the local developer can go get whoever they want to do the inspections if they don't pay us to do it. So one of my concerns is that what's being required is I have to certify something I may not be getting paid to go out and look at. I have no problem that it does need to be certified. It needs to be inspected. It needs to be certified for the as-built. But I don't know that, and I know Stephanie knows this firsthand. I used to be on the public side. I was a city engineer and public works director for almost 20 years. I'm tired. I understand y'all's situation on that. There's times where we hired an engineer, they do the inspection. Me personally, I actually hired Blau to come in and do the inspection because I wanted the two separated. I like the design engineer for doing the design, but I want somebody who represents me looking at it and not just parroting what the parent company's done. So I'd get Blau to come in and do the inspection, and Blau would then certify as all the fire. We would then take those back and would work that out with the designer. But I don't know that it's fair to ask the designer to certify something that they didn't look at originally. The other is on your design of your detention basins. I've got no problem with looking at a factor of safety on those. I don't think a 1 foot across the board requirement is appropriate on all sides detention ponds. So if you've got a 4-to-1 requirement on your side slopes on a 1 acre piece of property and your detention pond is 1.5 feet in depth and you're asking for 1 foot on top of that, you've doubled the size of your detention pond, increase the grading requirements of the development on a 1 acre piece. It's probably not got a whole lot of money anyway. We may want to look at a percentage on some of those types of volumes. If you're looking at 30 acre foot detention pond, a foot on top of at the top half of that 10 foot basin is probably appropriate. But if you're looking at a 1 or 2 foot detention pond area about the size of this room, you add a foot on top of that, overdone your detention, it caused a lot of extra work to be done by the owner of the property, and you've wasted good deal of space on the upper side, looking at those things. So I think we may want to look at, y'all may want to look at on those potential requirements. Yes, there needs to be some mitigation above and beyond what happens to the plugs. We understand that. But to set a 1 foot requirement across the board on every detention pond may not be appropriate because you may be penalizing the small property owners, small business owners. And it could be mitigated by using a percentage of volume. So for instance, on a 1 foot pond, you may be increasing it by 100%. On a 10 foot acre pond, you may be increasing by 10%. So I think there's a big difference between those are the companies I like. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We just want to. And that.
Go back and look at both of those. Yeah, the 1 foot freeboard isn't the change, so we can look at that as potential change. I think that's, I hear what he's saying. When you have if you had a really, really small detention, then
1 foot is
less than a foot may be appropriate.
We've had some discussions a little bit about changing detention. Specific freeboard and having a little buffer in there.
I know we have a second one of these coming forward sometime in the fall because there's some additional legislation that snaps in January that we're gonna have to conform to. So we can put that, once we put that in our homework, we'll bring back that. On the other one, the county, I don't believe, unless I've missed something, our requirement is not that the design engineer has to be the certifying engineer, just that there has to be a certifying engineer. So if the developer chooses to have somebody design it, have a second party do the actual certification, There's nothing that we would have them keep. As a matter of fact, in some cases, I have some projects not by planning. Sometimes the original engineer could pass away or could go out of business during a project and not be available for certifying. So
We'll leave you with options.
yeah, we don't require that they be the same firm or the same individual, just that there is an engineer doing the plans and there is an engineer doing the certification of those plans. Yeah.
Anything else on public hearing? Time is 11:15. Public hearing is closed. Number 56, discuss and take action on order under chapter 232 of the Texas Local Government Code, amending of the Texas Local Government Code, including but not limited to county road frontage requirements.
So you want me to go back through, we certainly can, this option, however you want to handle this. You guys have a copy of those changes. With the exception of the was raised in the public hearing about some additional language for the moving from subgrade to base, we can add that language in.
And what about the
The
scale?
skies.
The scale size, I don't have any opposition to doing that now.
Yeah, the 0.06, I think that can be acceptable. It just gets a little bit difficult to read if it's too bold.
At the end of the day, and sometimes it depends on the format of the text. Be the right size, but it's depending on what text they use, and it's like, at the end of the day, the big thing that we're shooting for is just legibility, which is a filing. So, we just kept having so much back and forth with people trying to squeeze that text size down, and it was not legible. And so we'd have to send them back and trying to cut back on the back and forth by providing some sort of a known standard of what we consider legible. And so I don't have any objection to updating that to the 0.0. You said 0.06.
You update that step.
Is under 4.2. And then the language that we talked about with the testing under B.
B5.4.
B 5.4. The bulk of these are either meant to clarify our existing policies. The only really big, huge, I think, policy shift that's in here is making a project that we want to use private roads and apply the variance, which would be the alternative. A lot of this stuff is trying to clarify stuff to communicate better in detail or address issues where we've had consistency with previous policy so that maybe we can make future confusion. That's the goal of much of it. No public hearing on it.
Nope.
No.
We're taking action. Discussion action. Anything left?
That's all I've got, unless you guys have questions. Want to go through item by item?
Done it once, I mean. It's up to the court. I'm good with where we're at for now. Yeah.
Motion to approve as presented.
With amendments?
With those two.
With those two amendments?
As you presented with those two corrections.
So.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, raise your right hand.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Sorry. Drew.
Good, no,
So
you're
you're
good.
coming back in the spring.
I'm gonna have to come back
Back with the stuff.
because there was at least one piece of legislation that's out there that snaps into place in January. Has to do with subdivisions using wells.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So you guys have had a lot of recent.
Yeah, I remember.
We'll have to modify to stay up with state law, we'll have to modify.
That's January, right?
That comes in January first.
And then this one comes in.
Between now and January
September
first, we'll have to do this.
Make a note of what Mr. Sherrill was talking about when we come back about the footage on the 1 foot ocean.
Yes.
Look at that. Everybody understand the engineer versus the other one.
Yeah, so
I
his,
understand it, but.
yeah, his concern is that he may be hired only to design. And not to certify, and they may hire somebody else to certify. Our intent, and I believe we've accomplished it, is to allow for that under our current code. We recognize that comes up. Got a project right now that may.
Number 57, discuss and take action on changes to the schedule of fees for Department of Planning and Development.
So you have a fee schedule. Back then. Handed you out some of the bills that were passed. One of them was this 3492 appears. To not allow counties to base a fee on cost of construction for the review of engineering plans or inspection. Did the same thing for cities, so it's kind of cast across the state. It allows 3 options under the bill that I gave you guys last time. That can be used to try to estimate that fee, come up with that fee. We requested that law provide us an updated schedule of fees to include a turnkey. That is where they do the whole thing. They receive it, they have all the meetings, they do all the back and forth, they do all the admin. Leave us out of it almost altogether, except for when they come to court. That's what these fees that you see here are based on. And we asked them to do that with information, because we have parameters to working under the statute. We asked them to do the information that we would have during the application process, right up front. So these are based on essentially based on acreage, number of lots, whether or not the subdivision is some degree to scale, so 40 or fewer, and then vacant lots that is no roads. Maybe they have detention, but they're not constructing new roads, right? So we're not having to do inspection stuff. So we separate those into another category as well. So now there's 3 categories, whereas there used to be basically just 2. It was plat with improvements, plat without improvements. This was in order to get closer to a better number that they could manage with the information they had up front. So it throws in a third factor, which is sort of what's the scale of the construction, right? Are we talking about a big subdivision less? 40 lots lines up well with our existing policy because we have some parameters that kick in at 40 lots. It leaves minor plats up here. No real change with those because it's not really any serious infrastructure. We don't do drainage review or inspection on minor plats, even on detention. And we're not doing new construction roads with minor plats by the definition of minor plats. So no change to the minor plats. Again, they have a fee. The rule is, I know that you guys have seen this, but go over it with you real quick. It says a county may consider the fee that would be charged by a qualified independent third party entity for those services. That's what this is. That's the option that we've looked at, which is option number 1. I'm not your legal counsel, but, and it's a new piece of legislation, so it's not like there's a lot of case law out there on this or anything. I see these, but it is our office's intent, it's up to the court, of course, would be to continue to provide all those services that we've been providing, where we're the receiving office, where we pass the stuff back and forth, where we handle a lot of the meetings, handle a lot of the back and forth, and that doesn't have to necessarily go and be done by Blau. I'd like to proceed that way, which would allow, I think, the court could adopt, with us continuing to provide that, this fee schedule with like a modifier, reducing it by 10 to 20%. Of course, that's court's option. The only thing would be if you adopted that model, if for some reason you ever did want to access the contract for turnkey, obviously, if we're collecting a fee that's 10 or 20% below the turnkey amount, you would be a little short. I don't anticipate us needing to do that, but that in an emergent situation, it might come up. I don't know. But I would like, my recommendation would be maybe to do a reduction on this between that 10 and 20% up to court. If you feel like you need to collect the full amount to be ready in case it happens, I think you're still in line with what the requirements are.
Guys, I need to jump in real quick. I have a 12:30 meeting, another meeting I need to jump over to. So I need to leave y'all with this. All right. So my apologies, but I gotta check out or be late for the next one. So
Thank you, Bill, for being on board today.
Hey,
Look,
let me give you this view before I leave. There you go, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Pay line ain't gonna close no time soon.
Take care, guys. Appreciate the time. Bye.
Again, this is our attempt to respond to the statutory requirements that were imposed by the legislature. We didn't have any intended fee change up until the legislature took action.
So I told Andy that I did this with our state rep on this. Among seemed like many other bills that they're having conflicts with that I meet again in the fall and try to figure out how they're gonna fix this. I have no idea, but I don't know where they think about what they think about sometimes when they vote on stuff like this, but nevertheless, September 1st, it comes into effect. Andy's come up with it. Yeah, Andy's come up with a pretty good solution for now. It ain't nothing says it won't change if they meet again,
and this is the same bunch that tried to keep us from having a lobbyist, so we can't deal with them, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was the same bunch you're talking about.
So, that was his views on it. Anything that we can think of that would help them fix this, they are open to suggestions.
I mean, honest truth is the percentage of cost of construction is pretty common way of determining for everything in the construction industry. But not having that anymore available to us. As a matter of fact, the legislation goes so far as to say we're not even to ask for it. The other portion of that's going to affect us is and we made those changes to the policy. The other portion of that is we used to, the court will remember, request them to give us construction. We use that cost of construction to determine the bond amount. And now looks like we're gonna have to come up with an alternate way of doing that as well. And so it'll have to be, we'll get the scope of the project. They'll turn in, what they're doing, a list of the construction materials and quantities. And then we'll have to make a determination on what it would take for us to build that. Whereas used to, we would basically just look at what they said it would take them to build it. And as long as we didn't have an objection to the quantities or prices, then that's what the court would agree. So this bill affected both those areas. One area we dealt with in subdivision policy, the other one is before you came in here. I don't know of anybody that's come up with any better solution than this. If we find one out there, I'll come back and let you guys know.
Well, and it's gonna affect cities, it's gonna affect all your counties, you know.
It's not just us.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, it was a shot at the big cities, in my opinion, you know, instead of calling them out, they included all of us, so. I don't know what it's gonna take. I mean, Andy's put a lot of time and Stephanie too in this, and
As a general, I think if I look at some of this projects that. When he ended up as far as all this, you know, like I said, we wanted to modify the proposed somewhere between 20%. 0.8 modifier with those fees, which option. This, if we start moving forward and go to the place, I can always come back to court and as nothing. But that's what I've got for you today. Or I can't give you more.
It's better than that.
yeah, and you got out,
We're off into the unknown right now.
you're out of court options too, and you got a couple more, but I don't know, it's something we need to make a mind of.
Yeah, this is an effective September 1st one. A lot of times. Deal with it. If no changes made- if no change.
Your time is out.
If no changes made to the fee schedule, the current fee schedule we have. Will be in violation of the
This way, the way it's set up right now, you're at the 20%. I explained it.
I was just saying that, you know, we're using what they would charge turnkey as the basis, which is one of the allowable things that we could do in code. But the intent would be from all of us to continue providing the oversight that we've been providing, the administrative services we've been providing, the review services we've been providing. The commissioners would continue to be involved in the inspection process. All of those things will, in my mind, based on what I think we've been doing them for, lower the price tag to the county, and therefore I think the court would be justified in offering a discount over what the full turnkey rate would be if we continue to operate as normal. If for some reason the court wanted to pull the trigger on that billing option at some point in the future, let me clarify all this too by saying that that is a proposed fee amendment. Actually, we have to be adopted into their contract to be formal. Okay. I think the plan was if the court likes it, they like that fee, then they would come back with a contract amendment to add that to the fee sheet. I think that the court, because of the efficiencies of what we already do, we have an office that's open 5 days a week. We're already receiving, we're already communicating with people on other items. I think that there's some efficiencies that we could offer there that could reduce it below what the third party would charge in the market. And so I would advocate maybe if the court wanted to pass those on somewhere in that range between, I guess, anywhere between 0 and 10%. I'd be a little uncomfortable going beyond 20, not knowing how this new fee schedule is gonna work out.
So are you looking for approval for this today?
Yes.
We gotta do something.
Don't
Yeah.
know today.
We ain't got no other time.
It's the sort of.
He made a motion to approve.
We need to figure
You
out
want
what
to
kind of
get the percentage off.
I don't give no percent at third or at as if we had outsourced it
With no reduction.
with no reduction.
I don't know, I can go along with that. I like the reduction better.
Yeah, I would like to see a little bit, honestly. You know, we don't want to be took completely out of the game, you know, I don't anyhow, you know, I like being involved in it.
Yeah.
So I think we need to be involved and I think it's part of our job. It's part of Andy's job.
My motion is based upon the fact that at some point we need to hire an in-house engineer, not to eliminate any of the outsiders we use, but to slow down some of the day-to-day aspects of we're going from here to here to here to here. Speed up the process. If we do it in-house and we leave that fee in there, then maybe next year budget time, we can look at hiring Andy, a part-time engineer or an engineer, and that's why I make the motion in that way I did.
But you're basing it on something that's not consistent, you know, I mean, it may fall out, you know, and we've hired a $150,000 engineer that sits up there and watch his handiwork or something. I don't know.
That's why we could do a contract part-time. As we need it.
Um,
So I don't even know what your motion is anymore.
What's the motion for full?
Okay,
Fee.
yes, we're on the fee schedule.
We're on fee schedule. What was your proposal on
The fee schedule-
reduce amount?
Yeah, so the fee schedule is the basis of our, of their cost to do it. What they would charge us is the basis for the proposal. The statute doesn't specifically say we can adjust that, but it doesn't necessarily say we can't adjust it. So my thought was when I looked at this fee compared to what I think we're able to do it for now, it takes a while for these projects to run their course. So we're still just now finishing some of the projects under the original fee schedule, getting close, is that there's probably some room in there. If we continue to provide the services we've been providing, that the court could scale the fee downward between 0% and 20%, somewhere in there. I don't know where the exact right number is until we get some
Something to
applications
use,
in under this
yeah.
and see how it flows. Then we'll have a little better feedback, but somewhere in that realm.
We can start at 20% and come back up.
Or start at 10 and go down.
I like
In
20.
the middle of the road.
I'm in the middle.
Hey,
What about it, Brandon? You willing to amend your motion?
if not, I can't give you a second to it.
It's gonna fail anyway. Like I said, whatever the hell you want to. Let's go home. I'm tired. I feel bad.
You breathed too much smoke yesterday, what?
I was sick before I went out there.
Rescind your motion, or you want to drop?
And fails.
Fails for lack of second. I'm gonna make a motion that we accept the fee schedule presented at a 10% rate.
10%
reduction. Yeah. Moved and second, all in favor, raise your right hand.
I'm opposed to that.
All right. All opposed. Motion fails.
Now what are we gonna do?
Yep. Some gotta be done before September 1st.
Of all days. We don't have another court.
There's somebody out there waiting right now to.
Where does Bill go?
Bill left. All right, so we're not at 0, we're not at 10.
Well, we can split my head difference. I'll go 15.
How about 12?
Nope,
The motion for the 10% deduction.
It fails.
it failed.
I know it failed, but I'm trying to finish.
Bill left.
Bill left.
Our tiebreaker is gone.
Ronnie, you're wanting 20% reduction?
I'm good with 20%.
We got 20, we got 0, we got 10. So
And you're 10.
Colt made the motion.
I'll split the difference. I'll go 15.
I'll go 5.
I'll go up 20.
I'll go back to 0.
Okay, I got plenty of time, guys.
Then we're gonna meet again, because I'm telling you, it's gotta be done by September 1st. If not, if somebody walks in with, and.
It's gotta be
ain't got
done.
a fee schedule.
how you feel about 15?
I like 12 and a half.
I ain't coming 12 and a half. That's out.
Started at 20.
Yeah.
I come down.
If you'll make the motion.
10?
I'll vote for 10.
All right, I'm gonna remake the motion that we accept a 10% reduction.
The one you just did.
Yep.
I'll give you a second.
Moving and saying all in favor, say aye. All opposed, motion passes. 10%.
So you can.
All right, nothing at budget workshop. Any public comment? No media, anything from commissioner.
Everybody left us.